Hello and welcome to the start of a new trip. So this trip is going to be over several vlogs and this is the first one. If you're new to the channel, I'm Chris. I travel a lot. I travel a lot with my wife and we started vlogging just about a year ago, basically because we're getting on in life and we have made a lot of memories which we have forgotten. So we thought, well, let's start video vlogging them so we can, once we're old, sit around the fireplace and watch these old YouTube videos. Today we're starting a new trip. It's also then the start of a new vlogging series. The trip lasted 12 days. We're here now on day one. We're at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport and we're going to fly to London Heathrow. Full disclosure, I'm not a morning person. This is 6 o'clock in the morning that we have arrived at the airport. So let's go and check in. I have never flown a KLM business class before, so that's going to be interesting. This despite living next to this airport all my life, even worked for the airline, some summers, and also it being major airline here at Schiphol Airport. Never done it. They always are too expensive for me. This is part of a ticket for the next leg of the journey, so business class was included. The check-in was a breeze, really no problems there. It wasn't too busy, it's early in the morning, it's a Monday morning, so I've expected much more business travelers here, but it seems quite empty, so that's a good thing. We went upstairs for security, thinking the airport was nice and deserted, but one part of security was closed and we were redirected to the other part of security, and there we found all these business travelers, which I was expecting, and they were all standing in a massive queue in front of us. Schiphol Airport was once my favorite airport due to it being so very accessible, very open, very clear paths to the plane and to baggage handling. But as it has grown, it has really become a nightmare, and actually one of the the airports I really don't look forward to using. And again, this morning proved it again. We're now several years after the pandemic, and they still haven't got their order, so to say. And Schiphol has been investing a lot of money into the airport, and you can see that if you look around you, it's looking quite fancy and nice. But the reality is that the basic things that I want to work as a passenger aren't working. The wait times at security, the wait times at transfers, the wait times at border control, the wait times for your luggage to come off the belt. All those things that directly affect me and as a passenger, they're not working, and they're still not working. So apologies for my little rant, but I do get worked up about things I care about. Schiphol is my home airport, and I care about it. It's to be part of all my life, and I just hate it to see it perform so bad as it is. My inability to get into gear this early in the morning, and combined with the long wait at security, meant that we could not visit the KLM non-Schengen lounge today. The KLM non-Schengen lounge was rebuilt back in 2019. It has a very interesting design, some nice touches and features, so I was really curious to see it from our own eyes, but alas, not today. We're going straight to the gate now. Our ride for today is a 13-year-old Boeing 737-800 series. Sadly, KLM is phasing the 737s out of their fleet and is replacing them with the Airbus A321. Nothing wrong with the Airbus A321, but yeah, I like the variation, so it's going to be much more rare to ride on a Boeing 737 within Europe. I always say people make an airline, and in this case we were greeted with great smiles and jokes by two cabin crews who were welcoming everybody on board, making sure people were reminded to put their small bags underneath the seats. They really did a great job, and they really had a better morning temperament than I have. European business class is a game of inches, unlike America, where generally you have two configurations on the narrow body planes. Here in Europe, almost I think all airlines have a three configurations, but they keep the center seat blocked. With game of inches, I'm referring to the leg room in this case. There is a difference between the airlines. KLM sort of in the middle, they give an extra 2 inches of leg room in the business class seats compared to the normal seats, and some airlines give less and some airlines give a bit more, but KLM is right there in the middle. I really like the designs of the seats, the coloring match the airline very well. I also liked that it was a little fold-out table for your device or iPad next to a USB charging port, and also, which I found really brilliant, was the cup holder, which is very handy, so you can just put your cup in there and you don't have to have your tray table down for the whole flight. It wouldn't be me if I had a point of criticism. This is a well-known seat. They're very thin and very hard. They're not very comfortable to sit on. It's okay, for a 50-minute flight, but if you're having a 3-hour flight, they're not that comfortable. That's the only downside of these seats. The sun was coming up as we were pushing back. It was still raining, and so there were lots of drops on the window, and they did clear for the takeoff a bit later. A meal is included in this flight, so I was curious what my breakfast was going to be like. Unlike Swiss Air or British Airways, the KLM does not offer special meals for people that need it in business class on the short-haul flights within Europe. So my wife could really enjoy me eating my breakfast while she just had a look at her empty tray table with a glass of tomato juice. The packaging of the breakfast was absolutely stunning. I think it must be one of the best of its kind. Let me know in the comments if other airlines do a better job. But no, KLM, much kudos for this design. It was absolutely beautiful. Well, as promising the packaging was, as disappointing the food was. It was horrible. I think one of the worst breakfasts I've ever had on an airplane. It was cold pancakes, and these were thick spelt pancakes, so they were really unedible, with a little bit of jam on it. That doesn't really do anything. With that there came a fruit salad, which was mainly a green apple, which tends to be kind of sour and hard, and then there was a little granola, which was just the oats with some yogurt. So really my wife wasn't missing out on anything this time. So what are my thoughts on this short haul KLM business class flight as we're coming in to land at London Heathrow? If I'm honest, despite what a lot of fanboys are saying, or even YouTube vloggers, there really isn't any difference between the major airlines in business class within Europe. They're pretty much all the same. One does one thing better, one does the other thing better. One has better food, one has better lounges, one has a couple of inches more leg room. It all sort of works out at the same. But this flight, I was very impressed with the cabin crew. I thought they did a great job. I really dislike this seat to sit on, which is its primary function, of course. But I do like the USB port there, the little tray for your device, and the cup holder I fell in love with. We are coming in on time, which really isn't that special, except for the past 4 flights on the KLM. 3 were delayed and 1 was cancelled, so for KLM this is a good job. I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, but yeah, it is what it is. So is it worth it? No, I really don't think that business class on a 50-minute or an hour flight is worth it, unless you get a good deal. Then I think it is worth it. You get a bit of extra space, your luggage lounge is better, and you got some lounge access. But otherwise than that, no, it's not worth it. KLM did really nothing to make me say this is a much superior airline than others. It's very mediocre, except for the cabin crew today, which were absolutely great.
You may now switch on the mobile service on your phone again. On behalf of the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for flying KLM. It was a pleasure having you on.
Rückruf des Amsterdams.
And this flight is the start of a journey, and we are transferring here at Heathrow, and we're going to make our way from Terminal 4 to Terminal 3. So we've got around 3 hours to make that connection. I'll keep it a secret from where we are going and how we are going and with which airlines we are traveling. So do come back in 2 weeks when the second part of this trip report will be up. We have never transferred from Terminal 4 to 3 at Heathrow, so it's the first time for us, so let's see how easy or how hard it's going to be. The transfer signage is very handy at Heathrow, and they make the signs in a very bold purple. I had a little rant at the signage at Schiphol, where it's just impossible to find a lounge because they number the lounge, they don't tell you what lounge it is, and it's all in this yellow signage. But this purple here makes it very handy for you to transfer and to find the right transfer location. Heathrow's got 4 terminals, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yeah, no, I don't know what happened with Terminal 1. Let me know in the comments if you do. And we are now following the signage, and I think we're heading towards a bus transfer. Yes, it's a bus. It's going to take us from Terminal 4 to Terminal 3. It's very quiet, so really no hassles there. We didn't have to wait long.
Here.
And I liked it. This is kind of like a backstage tour of the airport, access to all areas. So yeah, I think it's cool if you have the time, of course. Having said that, my wife, just after the pandemic, was on a business trip to the US, had to transfer here at Terminal 5 to Terminal 4, I think, at the time. And the buses were very infrequent, and she had to wait a long time as it was very busy and the buses were filling up. It took, I think, more than an hour and a half, which really eats up your transfer time. So do leave enough time between flights if you are transferring at Heathrow or basically at any airport. There is a runway with its taxiways, which is separating Terminal 4 from Terminal 2, 3 and 5. They've got a tunnel underneath this area, which is just short of a kilometer. Have a guess and leave it in the comments if you've got an idea of with which airline we're going to travel now and where we are going. That's right, it was easy, and we are here now at Terminal 4. We have to go through security once more, so again that is another thing that takes up time when you transfer. No baggage to worry about, so it's a luxury for today, and we're going to, after passing security, we're going to head towards the lounge, which is a special lounge, so stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate my viewers. Do leave a comment on how I'm doing, how the channel is doing, and what you like, and if you don't like it, also positive feedback is always welcome. So do let me know in the comments. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and we're going to see you with the next flight when we are on part 2 of this journey. Bye bye.